But tonight we are privileged to continue the training today. So you guys are welcome once again. Okay, so in the previous sessions, what have been discussed is the graphic design industry and the graphic design career. But tonight we're going to be diving deep into practicals and what design really is. So we're going to be doing more of design elements and design principles tonight, and then we're going to be going to the overview of Photoshop tonight. So I'm already launching my Photoshop so that I can start diving into the area of putting down, So first, what I'm going to be talking about tonight is the graphic design principles. I'm going to be talking about graphic design elements of design and basic principles of graphic design, of design generally. And then we're going to be diving right into Photoshop while we're going to be doing some magic tonight. I'm going to be showing some things that we're going to be doing tonight. You're welcome once again, everyone. So let us move on now. I'll be sharing my screen soon. Let me come in. Let me go to okay, just a minute. I want to try and set some things up now. Come here, let me try and set some things up now. Okay, guys. So I hope you can all see my screen now. So we are going to be this is what I've highlighted for the training, and I'm going to be diving right in now. So all of these have been talked about. The introduction to graphic design. Graphic design is the process of creating visual content to communicate information or images to the masses, considered to be a subset of communication designs. Graphic design is used to create visual content using elements such as photographs, colors, typography, illustrations, and icons. So considered to be an art first used around 17,000 years ago to create cave paintings. Graphic design is now used to creating logos, design used in books, newspapers and magazines. All of that have been talked about by my friends when they took it up. So I said my philosophy of design, the likes of Noel Ajayi have spoken about visual identity graphic design, user interface graphic design. And if you are not familiar with all of this, you can go to the day 1 and day 2. That is talking about the introduction to graphic design and introduction to graphic design career and introduction to the graphic design industry that was done in the previous 2 sessions. So all of these that I'm highlighting here have been covered, deeply covered in all of those sessions. So I'm going to be talking about my own personal philosophy of design. This philosophy of design is what has been generally accepted. It is after a lot of research has been done, and I came about this thing that I'm sharing with you guys. So the first thing that I'm going to be sharing is the philosophy. Look at it. They said, I believe design is a tool of communication that has the ability to compel individual audiences to make a positive decision towards the purpose of the design. Any design that can achieve this aim is a functional design. Now, note the word functional design. I'm bolding that. All other attributes of a design is one that possesses the ability to catch audience's attention. So now, function plus aesthetics is what makes a great design. Don't forget this as a designer. Function and aesthetics is what makes great designs. I'm sorry. Look at this design. It says auditions for upcoming series and film. Come along with a full-size photo of yourself. 16 November 2019, 9 a.m. Liaison Legal Legacy Office. Blah 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 blah. Look at all of this design. This design, they are not too aesthetically fine. You know, they're not too beautiful compared to some designs out there. It is not that beautiful, but this design, okay, at least the design is nice enough. You can get what it's about. You know that it's for auditioning for movies. That is, look at the characters that they're using there. If you can see where I'm hovering over now, you can see this is a lawyer now. They want you to act like a lawyer. They want you to also, you know, we know that immediately you can picture that this is what they want you to come and do at the event. So I can say that this design is functioning. Why? We understand what they are trying to say. Look at the numbers here. The numbers was highlighted. Now, these are the things that I'm going to be going to in the elements and principles of design. Because one of the things that I believe is design is not art. Design is science, and there's always a step-by-step process to achieving design. So if you cannot achieve design by principles, then it has become art. So if you look at this design now, this is functioning. This is a design that is functioning. It is just a design that functions. It normally functions because you can see what they want you to do. See, the call to action is very, very clear. Come along with a full size of photo of yourself. You know that it's audition they want you to come and do. There's time attached there. There's number attached there. There's the date attached there. You can easily see everything that they want you to see on the design. So that is a functioning design. According to some people, you can say, okay, this design is not beautiful enough. Okay, yes, but then it is functioning. And then a design that has great aesthetics without function is not a good design. I will even say that function without aesthetics is equal to good design. It's still a good design if it does not even have aesthetics. If it does not have aesthetics, it's still a good design. But aesthetics without function is bad design. I'm telling you. So when you are designing, one of the things that must be in your head is you want to make the design function. And what does function mean? I've explained that earlier. Functioning is the ability to make your design achieve what it wants to do. This is what I said. I said any design that can achieve the aim is a function design. That is the purpose of the design. Why are you doing the design? For example, it's a concert. You want to make people, you can't just do a design and then people are wondering what the design is about. Look at this down. 21 days prayer and fasting. We know that this is prayer and fasting. You know that it's a church design. Everybody knows. Just immediately. You see that it will be live on Facebook, it will be live on Zooms, they are on Facebook, it will also be live on ground, main hall city, the time 6 to 8 p.m. daily. The date is there, you know, the pastor, the invited guests and all that. Everything is very clear. It might not be it might not be a great design, but this is a very good design. Why? You are communicating easily. In previous sessions, my friends have dealt with the fact that design is communication. So if you are not communicating, you are wrong. So let's move on. This is another one. You can relax as you grow your brand. You know, this design is if you look at this design, I don't know if you can see that clearly. I'm trying to zoom. So this design is is an aesthetic, it's looking very beautiful, right? The colors, the blue and yellow, the gradient by the side, and then the use of fonts. You can relax as you grow your brand. It is both functioning and it has very beautiful aesthetics. The fact that they are using great shadow in this design, all of that I'm going to be talking about when I enter the elements of design and principles of design. See, it has very good shadow, very good imagery. The photos, the way it is, this is great design. This is different from this. It's different from this and this. Although these ones also use they used shadow, but it's not that beautiful. So as beginner designs, because this session, this training is meant for beginners. So as a beginner, one of the first things that you must look to, don't stress yourself with trying to come up with aesthetically beautiful design. First, deal with function. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to communicate? Look at what I said here. Don't forget, it has the ability to compel audiences to make positive decision towards the purpose of design. If you want to make them, the purpose of this design is to make people come to the audition. The purpose of this design is to make people attend the prayer and fasting. Simple. That's why you see them. There is no use of there is no gradient here. There's no shadow. Those are things that make your design beautiful. Just 2 colors, even maybe 3 colors: red, blue, and yellow. Look at the yellow. So he's not trying to please you. He's not trying to make you feel beautiful about the design. He just wants to make you attend the program. If you have attended the program, it is successful. So that is function, not aesthetics. So let's move on. So the skill set that a graphic designer must have. I'd like to also talk about this. I know that Noel Ajayi and Toby have talked about some of these things, but I would just like to around it a little bit before we move on to what I have for you. So this is knowledge of colors. You really need to master colors. Visualizing skills. You have to be, one of the things that helps your visualizing skills is the fact that you have practiced. You have practiced. When I was starting the design, there was not one day that I spent less than 5, 6, 7 hours on design. I just see that overnight I'm doing design. It is when you have used a color over and over and over and over and over again that when you want to do a design, even when you are looking at the design brief or the design content, you already know what you want to do in your head. You are not wasting time. When I started with design, I used to spend close to 3 to 4 or 5 hours on one design before I can arrive to do as simple to generate concept. I can spend 5 hours, but now, because I have grown, I've done a lot of design. I've delivered thousands of design. I've done a lot of design. Personally, I've done this has helped me to just, the moment I see a content, I know I just brainstorm fast, and then when you have done something over and over and over again, it becomes something that you have mastered yourself. You have mastered it. So that's visualizing skill. When you see something, you must be able to identify, okay, this is what is wrong. This is what is wrong. There's a lot of things that are wrong in this design, but we're not doing design critique today, so we are not going to be talking about that. So each and everyone will submit their design after this class, and then we'll start to do critique from there. Knowledge of shapes. When we get to Photoshop, and I get into Photoshop, I'll show you different kinds of shapes that we have, irregular shapes and non-regular shapes. Typography, this is very, very important. The fact that you must understand serif, sans serif, you must understand all of the subsets and how to manage and use those fonts together, cursive fonts and all that, all of those traditional fonts, ceremonial fonts and all of that. If you want to really do great design, you must master all of that. In this design now, how many fonts were used there? Okay, this is 1, 2, just 2 designs, 2 fonts. Okay, 2 fonts was there. This is probably this is a vertical, and this is a cursive font. I don't know the name. So in this one now, okay, this is these auditions and series and films is the same design. This is Arial. This is Arial. This is another kind of font. This is probably Nexa. I know this font. This is a Nexa font of Futura. So this and these are the same thing, but they are different weights. So you must know the knowledge of combining fonts. This and this is the same thing, but it is different weight, different colors. You must know how to really contrast type, bring them together to do something very beautiful. You get my point? Okay. Drawing and sketching skills. This is not too important, but it's also important if you can draw and sketch. It will help you in your logo design. If you want to start logo designing when we enter Adobe Illustrator, probably tomorrow or next tomorrow. So knowledge of copywriting, this is very, very essential. I told you design is communication, and copywriting is a skill that you are communicating with marketing. Say, personally, I don't do art. I used to tell people I'm a designer, but I don't do art. I started as a copywriter, moved into content writing, and entered social media management before I started doing design. Before now that full time now I'm doing product design, although I still do some little of graphic design. But knowledge of copywriting is something that you cannot do without as a designer. You must know how to write copies. If not know how to write copies, but you must know how to communicate. Because basically what you are doing is you are writing, you are interpreting something. He said, look at this, 21 days prayer and fasting. February. There's no copy here. Auditions for upcoming series and films. There's no copy in this place. But naturally you can relate, right? But look at here. You can relax as we grow your brand. It was the designer that came out with relax, identified relax, grow, and the brand. Look at somebody that does prayer and fasting. Somebody that does auditions for upcoming series and film. So in this place, this is different from this place. Why? This person understands copy. So the first thing that you are seeing on this design is relax, grow, brand. So you now go back again and say you can relax as you grow your brand. It is very, very communicative like that. That is what it means to be aesthetic, to be aesthetically beautiful. Your design has to be catchy. People need to be able to sit down and look at the design for a long time. If they can look at the design and be like, oh wow, this design is beautiful. It will help. It will even help. It catches attention. That's the goal. So another soft skill. Those are the hard skills. The soft skills that you must master is time management. Very, very essential for every graphic designer. Because if you are doing any design, not even graphic designer, for every kind of designers, you need to master time. There's a lot of designers out there that they don't know how to manage their time. They can spend 7 hours on one design. It is very bad. Especially, okay, maybe you are not trying to grow anyway. If you have a client base that is as tough as mine, that somebody that can just come up and slide into your DM and tell you, please, I want to do a design. My boss will so might do this. I want you to quickly do design for me today. And then you have like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on one day, and you need to deliver 7 designs one day. You will not have the time to start spending 7 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours on design, except you want to work and die. I used to tell people you have to, I do a work-life balance. I don't work all the time, although I work very hard. You have to put in your best hours when you're starting up. Even when you have grown to a level, you have to put in hard work, put in very big work into your design. But you must know how to manage time. You must really know how to manage time. Manage your time well. 2 is good communication skills. You must be able to communicate, especially if you are going to be working with a design agency, working with a team of people. You must be able to communicate. It is a soft skill that is not negotiable. You really need to be able to communicate. Ability to work with details. This is very, very important, especially if you are working with clients that are not too digitally literate. When I mean digitally literate, they are not really the ones that will help you with details and all. So they'll just write everything and just send it to you. So you are the one that you must take note of every little detail on that design, and then you know how to place it on your own design when you get to your software, because everything you're going to get from a client is probably is content. You just type it to you on WhatsApp, or probably you use a collaborative tool like Trello or Slack. Just type it to you and send it to you there. Or probably you have a group that you hire. Probably you are using a tool to collaborate in a team. And they just send it to you, and then they tell you, your team lead just tells you, go and do this design for us. They're not going to tell you anything. They just send it to you. But you are the one that is going to convert those tests, and you are going to convert all of them into a very beautiful and functioning design graphic. Another thing is good behavioral skills. I've seen designers that have very bad behaviors. Know how to talk to clients. Those are personal things that will help you grow in your career, and you need to be able to behave well. Really need to behave well. It is very, very important for you to be able to behave well. Ability to work in strict deadlines. I can't emphasize too much on that. You really need to be able to work with strict deadlines. The reasons why this class have not held in the past 2 days is because I had lots of deadlines, and then it was choking, and but I try my best to put them off and move on. So you must be able to work with strict deadlines, crazy deadlines. Ability to work in a team. You are not going to be working alone. If you want to really grow as a designer, you might be a freelance designer for now. Okay, we are starting up doing like a freelance design, and then you can take jobs on your own and execute by yourself. But you really must develop yourself to a point that you can be able to work even amidst designers. Growing from a graphic designer and moving to product design, you might not be the only one working on a product. You are doing a product that has about many features, and then you are just asked to design the dashboard. I don't want to go into all of that, but you must prepare your mind that you want to work in a team. You must be ready to work in a team. Psychology. What is psychology? Psychology is the ability to read things even without words. You must be able to psychologically pick things. For example, you want to design something for the real estate industry. You definitely know that it is not the same as the fashion industry. So psychology tells you the ability to read different things like that and communicate to people's psychology will help you to be able to do this good design, tailored graphics for different industries. Writing. This will help you. You must also try and do some writing. Presentation skills. Presentation skills is very important, especially if you are going to be doing things like brand identity design. If you want to do brand identity design, you must be able to present your brand identity, because especially if you are working with stakeholders that put their money in something, and then give you a brief to come up with a design, and then you are not presenting well. You must really know how to present well. They won't buy your idea if you are not presenting very well. Problem solving. There are going to be some content that you are not going to get resources online. You just must find a way to solve that problem, that graphic problem. I've worked with a brand, a courier service that was some 1, 2, 3 years ago. I can't really remember, but they told me to get a stock picture, or what stock pictures is, very beginner as we move on. He told me to get a stock picture of an Hausa man receiving a delivery. And I'd be like, man, I can't see something like that. The only thing I can see is English people. They have, when you go to resources, I'm going to be sharing a lot of resources that you can get stock pictures, even get them for free. Get resources. I can't get these things that an Hausa man will be collecting. He said, get it, sir. I said, and then I had to resort to my Photoshop skills and then start to sketch things out, put a hand into somebody's head and put the delivery package on the hand. And then when I came out with the design, I was like, God, even myself, because about 2, 3, 4, 5 things I put together, and then I just took it and then joined everything together to make a very good design. So those are the things that you face, because clients are going to be asking you ridiculous, crazy things. Patience. Oh, I can't emphasize too much on patience. Reviews, change this, change that, solve, do this, do that. Oh, we forgot to add this, please add it. You really need to be patient while you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with teammates, you're dealing with team leads, you're dealing with anybody. Patience is a life skill, so it is very good to be patient. Sales and marketing. That's another skill that you should learn, because if you don't know sales and marketing and you're working as a freelance designer, you might not be able to sell yourself, you might not be able to make anything. You might learn the skill, know how to design like the best graphic designer in the world, but you're not putting yourself out there, you're not doing sales, you're not doing marketing, you're not telling people about yourself, you're not posting, you're not using any platform to market yourself. You're just going to be the best designer in your house, in your pocket. You're going to just do your thing yourself. So not just your software, many softwares are available for learning. This is Adobe Photoshop, this is Adobe Illustrator, this is CorelDRAW, this is also we have Figma, we have Adobe XD. These days I don't even use some tools again. You can do everything on Figma. I don't know if there's anything you can do on Figma, but for the course of this session, we're going to just be looking into Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. All right, web-based tools. There are a lot of web-based tools I'm going to be using that you don't need to install them. You just need to access them on the internet, on the website. So that is basically that. Oh, I spent too much time on this, but let me rush again. This is also a web-based tool that I'm using. This is a tool. This is Notion that I'm using. You can get a Notion account and try and do something with Notion. This is okay. Let me do elements of design first. Okay, so I prepared this. This is elements of design. Okay, before we dive into moving on, I like to do elements of design. This is elements of design. Design is a plan for arranging elements in such a way as best to accomplish a particular purpose. Don't forget what I said in the last session when I was talking. I mentioned purpose. In design, you really need to know the purpose. What is the purpose of this design? And look at what Charles Haynes was saying. This is a designer saying that design is a plan for arranging elements in such a way as best to accomplish a particular purpose. So you are arranging elements together to achieve a purpose. So the elements that are going to be putting together in your design is what we want to talk about in this session that we have. Design elements. What are the elements of design now? Design elements have an impact on how a piece of work is perceived, executed, and used, and are present in design regardless of skill, taste, or style. Everything designers create has massive implication on people's everyday experiences. So your elements, the elements that you're putting together in a design, is going to be impacting. It has a lot of implication on the experiences of people. This is not a UI UX design training, but I would like to talk about experiences in design. If you must be able to take people through an experience. You know what? Look at this. That other design that I was showing you the other time. I'll soon go back to that page, but look at this design that I was showing you. The experience of this design is so cool. It looks like a movie. Look at this lady frowning. Look at this picture, family picture, daddy and mommy, and then children. And then look at this one being a lawyer. This is a very good experience. When you look at this design, you want to look at it more than 2 times. Because you are trying to interpret it in your head, but then they caught your attention and then give you auditions for upcoming series. You are falling for it. If you're an audience of this design, immediately you are going to sign up for it. Why? Because design has done well. So the experiences that you take people through in your design is very, very important. And they are going to be basically based on the elements that you put together in your design. The first biggest element of the design is the line. You can see line over everywhere in that design. I don't want to start going back and forth, but lines is the first. I think that's every you can see lines everywhere in the world. The first and most basic element of design is the line. In design, a line is any two connected points, just from one point to another. That's a line. No matter how rough, how anyhow it be, just a line from one connected point to another, that's a line. And as you design, you'll be using lines to do a lot of things. I think I talked about that. I'll be talking about that. Now see, these lines can be straight or curved. It can be straight or curved, maybe smooth, rough, continuous, broken, thick or thin, whatever. A line creates division and hierarchy within your design. It helps direct the user's eye towards specific information or a specific focal point. So those are the things that you can do with your lines. Your lines can create division, hierarchy. I'm going to be talking about hierarchy in design. What does hierarchy means? Hierarchy is the way you arrange your design from there's a concept of visual hierarchy is the arrangement of your design from how important, the more important elements in your design to the lowest of the importance. So if what you want them to see is the venue, you make the venue very big. You say that is more, it has higher importance in the elements that you're putting in the design. So line will help you to create those divisions. You can put a line, if you put a line in somewhere, people necessarily put more attention on that place. Do you get that? Look at various lines that we have. This is a straight line, dotted lines, thick lines, these are lines. These are made up of lines. And all of these things are going to be utilized. They can be utilized in your designs. You can utilize all of these things in your design. Lines can also create subliminal languages in your design. A diagonal line, for example, suggests movement. A straight line is more orderly and clean. For example, there's a design that I did, and then it is talking about fast and for example, you say fast and furious. If you check fast and furious now, you see that what is coming to my head now, if you are thinking with me, is not a straight line. It can never be a straight line. It has to be something diagonal, something bent that can show motion, that something is moving. So that's how well you can use a line. A straight line is more orderly and clean. Probably you want to design something for a legal company, probably a lawyer, probably a barrister, or something that has to do with the legal or the legal, I don't know how they call it, legal or legal, whatever. So legal or legal firm, you want to design something for them, it has to be something very, very straight. It has to be straight. Did you get my point? It's raining here. Okay. It's also important to know that you can create a line in one or two ways. Use a pen. Oh my God. I want to confirm if everybody can still hear me. Please raise up your hand if you can hear me clearly. Put up your hands if you can hear me clearly. Okay. All right. So you can use a pen, brush, or other digital tools to connect 2 points. This is called an actual line. You can create an implied line which appears when two shapes meet. These are brush-made lines, and these are pen-made lines. When we get to Photoshop, we'll do about that. This is shapes, many types of shapes, 2-dimensional, geometric shapes. These are shapes, and all of these mean different things that you can utilize while you're doing your designs. Let me move fast now. These are colors. Colors are another powerful element of design. It can stand alone, act as a background, or highlight other elements in your design. Look at colors was used to highlight shapes here. And it was used beautifully. The concept of hue, saturation, and value is something that you must I can't talk too much about in this session, because if you take much of our time, I want us to round up by 9, and I still want us to go into the interface of Photoshop today. So these three properties, hue, color, and value, they empower identity to use range of colors, which also help evoke the mood and message behind the brand. For a few examples, we can look at the financial industries. Many brands, including the Bank of America, use blue in their color. If you want to know, check brands like Cowrywise, Chaka, if you know Chaka, all of those financial brands, they use blue. They use blue. Before you can see them use things like, the reason why GT Bank is using the orange color that they are using is because they want to attract youth. If you read the brand story of GT Bank wants to attract the youth, because orange is one of the colors that connotes speed, youthfulness, and brightness. So they want to really attract the youth. That is the reason why, because when GT Bank came, that was their goal. But many financial banks, blue is a color that it communicates trust, it communicates solidarity, it communicates strength. The fact that you can rely on them, it's very cool. I've actually seen in an interview tip that if you I've seen in an interview tip that if you want to go into an interview, if you wear blue, you can't be wrong if you wear blue. Why? Because it looks business. It looks business. Chase, Citibank, Bank of America, Cowrywise, Chaka. Look at them. You want to trust them and put your money with them. So color psychology, this is also very, very important in your design. Optimism, clarity, and warmth. That's yellow. Friendly, cheerful, and confidence. That's orange. Excitement, youthful, blue, bold. Red, creative, imaginative. Wise, that is purple. Look at a lot of brands that are using purple. This is trust, like I said, dependable and strength. That's blue. I see a lot of blue brands there. Peaceful, growth, health, agriculture, blah, blah, blah. That is for green. Balance, calm. That is white and black. So a lot of colors mean different things. You get my point? Typography is arguably the single most important part of graphic web or user interface design. Your text on how it looks isn't just about conveying a message. It can also convey a mood. Are you a serious online newspaper or a playful blog? Typography can set the tone. For example, a serif font like Times New Roman tends to evoke a more traditional and serious feeling, while on sans serif font like Open Sans below on the left reads as more modern. And I think I should explain a little bit about what sans serif and serif means. This is sans serif. Okay, if you look at this A here, if you can see it closely, you see that round where that circle is, that is what is called serif. That is even what is serif. So the moment you see any font that has something like that have edges like that, look at this A here, that has something like that, that is what they call serif. But sans means no. What the meaning of sans is no. So when you see sans serif, that means no serif. That does not have all of these things. For example, this is the Open Sans. This is Open Sans font now, and it is a sans serif font, no serif font. But this is a serif font because it has those things here. So psychology of typography, you see, look at all of these things now. It is communicating many things, communicating different things in this place. For example, this is I'm loving it channel for Disney, Star Wars, Xbox, Kodak, NASA. These are things that are talking about various and different things in design. So we're going to be moving to texture now. Texture refers to the way a surface feels, or in this case of a digital design, a perception of how it could feel. That is what texture is about. I'm going to let me know if you can hear me now. Okay. Oh my God, I think I need to go back now. Okay, I talked about emphasis, I talked about balance and alignment, and I'm talking about contrast now. Hope you can get all of that. So contrast is what people mean when they say a design pops. A design pops. So from the page and sticks into your memory. So look at this design now. The colors were used to to contrast each other. That is, when you are using a yellow background, you don't use any color that is near to yellow background on top of it, or else it will contrast. If you are using if you use a bright background, you must use something dark so that you can use something dark so that it can pop, it can contrast. If you are using a bright background, you must use something dark on top of it so that it can also pop. So that is basically what contrast means. Repetition, using the same patterns over and over again. Look at this place. This. These are just repeated one, and you can see, look at this design now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The way the pattern was repeated all over. If you limit yourself to 2 strong typefaces or 3 strong colors, you soon find that you have to repeat some things. That's okay. And people think, okay, look at this designer, it does not have all of the fancy colors like yellow, like it's a very cool design. Your 12 daily thoughts, look at, very beautiful design. You can easily read and get the information and get out. So in this design, we have just 3 colors and 3 typefaces, a serif and a sans serif. This is a sans serif, this is a serif. And everything is being used, and then they repeated everything. You can't say, okay, because you have 1 to 12 different things that you want to write, then you now use different 5 or 12 fonts, different 12 fonts. And say because 1 is 1, you want to contrast. You now use 1, a different font, 2, a different font, 3, that would be blunder you're committing. So you have to repeat things as much as it has to be balanced. You have to also repeat things. Repetition is also very important. Proportion. Proportion is a visual size and weight of elements in a composition and how they can relate to each other. It often helps to approach your design in sections instead of as a whole. Grouping related items that can give them importance at a smaller size, thinking of a box at the bottom of a poster for ticket information, or a sidebar on a website, or a search bar. Proportion can be achieved only if all elements of the design are well sized and thoughtfully placed. Once you master alignment, balance, and contrast, proportion should emerge organically. Now, what proportion is different sections of your design must have different kinds of weight and sizes. For example, look at this place now: 16th annual, Robbie Rush, Food Fun, Poker Run. All of those, look at this one now: Food Fun and prizes. It is actually the same element in this design, and they use the same sizes and font weights for them. Look at food and fun, the same style, the same size, the same, because in this, they are trying to tell us in this design that there'll be food, there'll be fun, and there'll also be prizes. Poker run is the main thing they are putting in the middle. Look at Robbie Rush Memorial. This is a title on its own. 16th annual Robbie Rush Memorial. There's going to be food, fun, and prizes, and then this poker run is like the main thing there. So in the proportion area, they are trying to make. Look at downstairs here, down here. I said downstairs. Enjoy the ride and registration fee $20 is not the same. It's not the same font. Starting blah 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 here and first 50 to register, they are the same font. Why? Because they are assumed to be, not assumed, they are meant to be the same elements. So they are using consistent fonts for them, font size and font weight for them. Do you get that? Movement. Look at the way the movement is being utilized here. If you want to do very good creative designs, all of these principles are what you must try and take. In the elements of design, we talked about white space. Also in the principle of design, we're talking about white space. White space is something that you must utilize. White space helps you to have it helps the client or the audience to have where their eyes can rest upon. If you do everything up like this one now, in this case now we have little white space, although they are not planning. These are old posters and they don't really recognize or do white space, but in some designs you really need to use white space, especially for designs like publication designs. You want to do a cover for a magazine, you must really use white space in all of this design. So that is that about that. So the next thing I'm going to be talking to, okay, we'll do all of this tomorrow. The next thing I'm going to be going through now is the let me see, I need to share my screen and I need to share my screen to somewhere else. Okay. All right. So this is what's it called? This is Photoshop. If you have installed Photoshop before, you must already have this. You can't have, if you have done anything on Photoshop before, you must already have this kind of what's it called? This kind of interface. Or if you don't have something like this, that means you have not done anything on Photoshop before. But simply after you have launched your Photoshop, for beginners that have not used Photoshop before, what you need to just do is to come straight to this place, and let me show you one design here. This is one. This is one design that I've done in the past. I don't know why it's taking too long to, okay. So if you look at this design now, before we start doing anything that looks like design, I like us to go over all of these tools and the interface to design. But look at this. This is just a design that I've done before, and Photoshop is a pixel-based tool, and as beautiful as Photoshop is, you might get it all wrong if you don't know how to use Photoshop very well. You get it all wrong if you don't know how to use Photoshop very well. So let me I think I should just close this now and then start with something new. This is how to start your document if you want to create your You want to do your design, you start the design now. Photoshop, this is how you go about it. Just create new. And then I want to explain some things here. This is recent. These are the sizes of designs that I've done before. This is saved. These are the ones that I've saved. I've saved before. I don't even have anyone that I've saved. I only use to send. So this is photo. This photo has suggested sizes of designs for you. We have default Photoshop, so that's 5x7. The most first thing I want you to understand is, okay, look at these sizes. We have sizes in pixels, we have sizes in inches, we have sizes in centimeters, we have sizes also in millimeters. Also, we have sizes in points. So in picas. So all of these things mean different things, but when you want to start your design, you first of all need to define the size of design that you want to do. Am I doing a 2100 by 1500 pixels? Inches and pixels, they are you know, the way there are different proportions to each other. So if your design, if you are doing print, for example, you want to print something, and then your client says, I want a 5x7 design, and then you did a 2x3 design, it's going to be wrong, because it's not going to be the same proportion. It's going to be very wrong. So first thing that you want to do is define what kind of size of design that you want to do. For example, if I want to do a social media graphic, for example, you want to do for example, that one that I showed the other time, you want to do a social media design, you want to do a event flyer that they will just print, and so I basically use 10 by 10 inches, or if it is pixels, I use 1000 by 1000 pixels. So the width and the height is going to size it out like that. There are also sizes that have been you know, put out for you here. There's letter that's bigger, there's tablet, there's A4, there's A5, there's A6. There's a lot of sizes here. The first thing I want to do is to get your sizes. For people that do UI with Photoshop, these are sizes that you can use. Mobile phones. Guess what? You also do videos on Photoshop. I've done quite a number of videos on Photoshop. You can create videos on Photoshop. But for this place, for this course, I'm just going to be doing only what's it called? Only graphic design, only design course, only design with Photoshop. So for the sake of this design, for this class, let's just move on to doing a 10 by 10 inches design. And the orientation, look at the orientation here. This is portrait, and this is also this is portrait, this is landscape. So I don't want to use artboards. If I start using artboards, this is artboards. I don't like to use artboards so much, but if you want to do many designs, you can start to use artboard. But let's not use artboards for now, so that we don't confuse each other. Let's just not tick this. When you want to start your design, don't tick this, just leave it. So resolutions, I like to use 300 resolutions, nothing less than 150, especially if it's a digital design. If it's something I want to print, is use 300 or 150. My own, I use 300 all the time. I use 300. And then this is another very important thing. In this place, we have bitmap, grayscale, RGB, and CYMK color. Don't bother yourself with bitmap, grayscale, and lab color. Let's just focus on RGB and CMYK. If you want to print anything, if you are going to be printing that thing, that document, use CMYK. I repeat, if it is a design that you are going to be printing, use CMYK. But if it's a digital design, probably something like this, just share online or post online, use RGB, 8-bit, 16-bit, 13-bit. This does not matter. Don't bother yourself about that. Background content, use white all the time. I like to use white. Advanced options, don't bother yourself about all of this. Just create, just go here and just create. Don't forget, you can also rename your you can also rename, okay. Hello, somebody message now, okay. You can also rename, you can rename your document here while you are creating. For example, let's use training, or let me use graphic design training. So you have created, you want to create a document now, then you just enter create. When you create, it takes you into Photoshop, and then you have this. I'm going to be teaching some shortcuts, and I like us to pay attention. So the first thing I want to do is the first thing I want for us to do now is to go over the interface of Photoshop. Okay. So we want to do interface of Photoshop today. Okay, so interface of Photoshop now today. So let's start. This is your document. This is your document piece. You have created, you have successfully come to and create your document. Here, this is like the this first bar now. This is file. This is edit. This is image. This is layer. This is type. This is select. This is filter. This is 3D. This is view. This is window. This is help. There's a lot of things that you can do with Photoshop. When I mean lots, there's lots and lots of things that you can do with Photoshop. And I'll just streamline all of these things to basic things that you can simply do with design. You get my point? Probably we create a design and then we'll use it for the sake of this class. Okay. So file. You want to create new file, just like the normal way every system software is. Create new, open, browse and bridge, open as smart, open recent, all of the designs that you have done before, they are here. So you can close all. That is if you have many tabs, right? If you open new, you can create another software, another document here, and just create it. And then this is like document 2. Don't mind me. Document 2. This is the same, and then you can come here and over and go back here. This is the first document, and you can go back to the second document. Are you getting my point? So from there like that, you can go like that and go like this and go like that and go like this. So edit. This is there are various. Okay, I think I should leave this for now. Edit, image, layer, type, select. Don't do anything with this if you're a beginner. If you are just we are just starting a design, just leave all of this and come to this place. Normally, if you are coming up, if your design is, if you just installed your Photoshop, you have to come here. If you see this place, okay, let me do something, because hello, somebody saying, is that a font? Is that font a sans serif font, the one you use for interface of? Okay, now this font, Adeyeye Samuel, this font is not a serif font. This is a sans serif font, and the name of the font is Montserrat. This is Montserrat. It's very, very popular font. Montserrat. This is the name of the font. Name of the font is Montserrat. Somebody said something here. Okay, noted. All right. This is a sans serif font. For example, let me show you a serif font now. What I did here is to duplicate. I duplicated this. How do I duplicate? You hover around like this, you hold your Alt, and then you drag. You see that when I put, look at, notice this cursor. The cursor has a different, look at the cursor here. The moment I press on my Alt, the cursor changed to black and white. Can anyone see that? I'm not pressing Alt again now. Look at, the moment I don't press Alt, that is just to, I'm going to get to picking or selection tool. This is selection tool now. The moment you hold Alt, I can duplicate. That's the first shortcut I want you to do. Alt. Alt plus drag will give you duplicate. That's first shortcut. That's like a first shortcut now. I think somebody's mentioned, somebody's typing something. Control J, what Control J does is to create layers. I think we can, let's just, if we press Control J, if you come here now, Control J creates new layers. Come here, if you press Control J here, you are duplicating layers. Look at, that's two different. Control J like that, you can, you see you can see the layers, see layers, or you just simply come here and duplicate layer here. Duplicate layer here. But for efficiency's sake, instead of Control J, I use my mouse, Alt, and then just drag like that. As simple as that. But then if you are using, if you want to duplicate layers, it's all right, and use Control J, that's all right. So let me move on to, what was I going to say the other time? Okay, I was going to say, if you first install your Photoshop, it might look strange to you, and okay, this is probably what you're going to do. But that thing that I just did myself, I'm the one I'm the one who set my space, my workspace like that. I'm the one who set my work. This zoom, whatever is disturbing me. Okay, let me put it here. Okay, so this is probably what you're going to see. First, look at what I came here. I came here and then I just reset essentials. So this is probably what you're going to see. But me, what I want is somebody who's typing again. Okay, let's move on. So if you come here and use 3D, it's going to give you a different interface. Did you see that everything has changed? If you come here and you go graphic and web, it's going to give you a different interface. If you come here and go to motion, it's give you different interface. You can create animations from here and do very crazy things here. And if you use painting, it's going to give you another interface. Look at you see the interface is very different. Then you go to photography, it gives you another interface. So what I do is simply come to essentials. I use essentials, and then every other thing that I need, I can bring them out by myself. Come to window. Everything that you need to do on Photoshop is in this place, these panels. These panels. 3D, action, adjustment, anything. So the moment you click here, 3D interface comes and come here. You can also close tab here. That's a tab. Actions, action, this is action. You can also close tab here. Windows, brush settings, that's another one. See, can close. Windows, channels, windows, glyphs. These are, I must be honest with you, I've not even used all of these things. I don't use all of them. I don't think there's anybody that can use everything. There's so much to do on Photoshop that you can't utilize you can't finish all of these tools. You cannot. This is for 3D, Windows, so character styles, Windows, brush settings, Windows, adjustment, a lot of them, lots and lots of them. So what you just need to do, our advice you is to find what are the essential things that you will need to do design. I found out that I don't need this color. Why? Because I have color here. You can see where this is color here. I don't need this color, so I take it away. I close the group. Swatches, I don't need swatches. Why? I can easily use swatches here. I can pick colors here. I can easily pick colors here. Or probably I have let me create a rectangle. I have a rectangle. And then I can come here and fill it or use here. And then these are swatches. These are the same swatches that are here. So I can do that here. That's the same swatches that are here. So I don't need swatches. Because personally, one of the things that I don't like is I don't like everything clumsy. I don't like things to be too clumsy when I'm doing designs, so that it helps my focus. So personally, what I do is I don't use swatches. I don't want to use swatches. So I take swatches away. I'm going to take swatches. I'll take it away here. Just come here and just click swatches and it will go away. There's adjustment, there's libraries. I don't need libraries. If you are using library, if you are using a original photo, not a cracked software now, you're using a paid software, a paid Photoshop, libraries, you can use libraries here. We are running over time. I want us to round up. So you can use, I want to take away libraries. I don't want to use libraries. Take away libraries. So I have channels, paths. I don't even want channel. What do I need channel for? I don't need it. If you want to use channel, that is when you want to edit photos. If you want to edit images, you need channels. But for the sake of this class, we are not using channels. So I've almost taken away everything, but I need layers. I want to round up this class in the next 5 minutes. I need layers. Number one thing that I need is layers. So layers are coming. So I can be able to administer everything. These are layers. This is the rectangle that I have here. This is the name of font. For example, you want to take this, you put it here now. You see that it has covered that thing. You can bring it here, drag this guy and can bring it down, and this can come up. Did you get that? So you can bring this and bring this under it. You are the one that is, and this background, and bring it on top. You bring it on top, it will cover everything. Why? Because this layer is on top. But then you can drag it down. So that's how layers work. That was basically how layers work. Get my point? So I don't think we should be using colors yet. I want us to be using black and white, but it's all right. Okay, so apart from that, I like to use characters. So I want before next class, I want you to have set up all of this characters, and then I don't want it to be hanging around here. I don't want it, so I bring it up here. Did you see what I did? Let me do it again. Character and paragraphs work together. So I have this and this. This is a different layer, you see. And then I can bring my character and just drag it in here. See what I'm doing? Can you see when you see that blue thing come out? You carry it like this and drag it in. When you drag it in like that, it comes out. So it is stable there. Bring this and come down here too. You can also bring it here. It is also stay there. You see? Layers. So now that I have, oh no, I don't want that. This is what I want. Okay. So I have layers, I have channels, I have parts, I have characters here. So I think properties should also come down. I want properties to be down here. I want properties to be down. Windows. Let me go and find properties here and use property. Property is going to be very essential when you are doing your work. You need properties. So you bring and put properties here. It's becoming too much, so I don't want. I want it here. I want properties to be here. So you can set up your interface the way you want it. Jesus. Okay. All right. So I like to just finish all that I've been talking about. This is this, like I said, this is okay, yeah. Like I was saying, this is the layers, and then you can be able to navigate around the layers, the paragraph, the character. You can also add anything that you want to add here and add them to your panels, whatever panels that you want to do. But as we go on in the design, in the class, you'll be seeing the need to put on other ones that you want to put on. But for me, this is what I use to do every kind of design that I want to do. So that is okay. How do I save and all that? We'll be going into all of that very soon. So this is a, I think we should hold on for now and then continue the remaining. So guys, we'll be ending today's class like this today. Thank you very much for staying thus far. I appreciate you guys. And then I'll see you in the other sessions. Thank you very much. Thank you.